That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so it happened when I was at work. Oh,
Oh,
sure.
dude, it was crazy. I literally woke up this morning. I'm like, oh man, I slept way in. It's got to be 8 o'clock. Nope, it was like 6.
Really?
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah, I was
I
just
will.
like, the hell is going on?
That's good. I'm rubbing off on you. You need to get up early.
Yeah, no, and I do. I get up early. I mean, there's days where I'm like out running at 5 a.m.
Yeah. I
You
miss
know,
that. I miss that, dude.
yeah,
There's nothing like that running in the morning.
it's good. It sucks when
It's
you get up, but
well,
when you're done, when you're done and you're finished,
your whole day is great.
you literally are like, holy shit, I got an 8 mile run in. I'm ready to go. You're
Dude,
feeling
you
like
feel on top of the
that's
world.
that runner's high. That's kind of
Yeah.
what that is. It's rubbing off, through the
I miss that.
through
I
the
miss
day.
that. There's nothing like that, dude, especially when the sun starts to come up. I was going to say that too. When you're younger, you don't appreciate the beautiful scenery around you. Like we're fortunate, really. If you think about it, we live on the Great Lakes.
Yeah,
That's a kind of a big deal when you like think about that.
it is. And I think the only people that can relate are people who are on the ocean. But that's a whole different
Yeah, right.
that's a whole different beast on
But
its own.
our banner on our YouTube channel, that's from I drive by that every day. That's a restaurant that overlooks. They got a beautiful setup there. Well, you know where it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
Overlooks
drive by
the
that.
lake.
I pull in there quite often, and I just look. I get out and just look around, have my
Hmm.
coffee a little bit because it's the sun this morning was beautiful. It was like an orangish, reddish coming up. It was
Yeah.
nice.
This was I want to say it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. A friend of mine and I were like, "Hey, let's go watch the sunrise," right?
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, let's do that." Uh, he has uh, kayaks and paddle boards, so we took our paddle boards out on the lake, and luckily it wasn't insanely choppy out there. But
Yeah.
yeah, we went out there. It was dark still. Paddled our way out. I don't know, maybe 100 yards or so, and then yeah, just sat there and waited for the sun to rise up over the water. It was fun. That was
Dude,
a blast. It was
when
like
we were
purple.
I know. It's every time it's different, man.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's so cool. Mother nature, it's just great. In the trees, just our area alone, just that wilderness.
Yeah, and we get 4 seasons. I don't particularly like it anymore. I'm not a big fan of the snow,
No, neither am I.
but
Neither am I.
and actually the older I get, I think the worse I don't like it, man. Shoveling
Well,
is terrible.
I went years without buying a snowblower.
I have one and I just never use it.
Oh my word.
I
I
just
bought
shovel.
I bought a very nice one. Like there's certain things that you should spend the money on, right? Like don't cheap out on certain things.
Yeah,
And a snowblower is one of them.
yeah. Good quality.
Yeah, I got a Cub Cadet, high end. It's like a Cadillac, and it's great.
Does it have a cup holder?
No,
But you could probably put one on it, I'm sure.
sure. Hold your hot chocolate or coffee. You could. Some
Yeah.
of them have the face shield where it's like but for real, you shouldn't waste money or be cheap on certain things in life, especially
Oh, I
that's
agree
gonna
with
last.
that.
It'll last, and if you maintain it, it'll last.
And with some products, right, the more you spend, the better quality you get. I don't
Right?
think that works for everything, but
No, I
for a
agree.
lot of stuff. But no, man, like snow is just a pain in my ass. And I think that is for a lot of people too, I'm sure. You know,
Yeah.
it's, but I have a snowblower. I had one, an old one, guy we used to work with. Actually, you would know him, right? Uh, he bought it from me. It had to do some work. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know how to fix things like that.
Yeah, that's not
But
my forte either.
yeah, I can I can make shit out of wood. I can put roofs on houses. I can do all that good stuff. Give me a engine, and I'm
Yeah, but
lost.
there's people that excel in different areas. That's a fact,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's people that are they're basketball stars. There's woodworkers, there's construction guys, there's metal
artists.
fabricators.
Yeah,
Like everybody's got a trade, something that they're good at.
right. But yeah, so he had bought that snowblower from me. Then my mom had this huge snowblower that after my dad passed away, she couldn't handle. It's just too big, too heavy. So I'm like, well, I'll take that one. Let's get you a smaller one that you can handle and maneuver. So we did that. So now I'm sitting with this big ass thing that I very rarely use. I just shovel. I go out there and shovel. It's easier for me to go out, grab a shovel, blast through, get it all done, and then put the shovel away rather than walk outside, get
Yeah.
in the garage, start up the lawn or start up the snowblower, let it warm up, get goot going, move the cars around.
It also
It's
depends
just
the area of what you have around your house to snowblow or shovel, right? Like if you don't have if you got a little sidewalk and a tiny little driveway,
I have quite a bit.
is it worth it? No, I know. I'm just saying in general. For that also plays a factor if you should purchase a snowblower.
Hold on a second. I don't think I have my right mic on.
You sure?
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. But
What
remember,
about
you
now?
got to
Oh yeah, I gotta switch that. Do you
see. Okay, there you are.
is our mic
What about?
the microphone, is that a Bluetooth?
No, no, it should be USB.
That is strange as hell.
You sound different now.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now you sound. Yeah.
No, I had my headphones plugged in because they were dead. So
Ah.
I only have so
See.
many. I only have so many USB ports on my computer. So I'm like, I got everything.
Yeah.
Frankenstein,
Well,
man.
I
got
think
everything plugged in all over the place.
I may have an adapter if you need it, like a USB extension adapter where it plug it in and adds more ports.
Oh well, I was just not
If
on
that's
top of my game charging my headphones because usually they're charged.
Hmm.
And they were not.
So we were talking before, like you're not a mechanic, and neither am I.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day too, because baseball season's about to end here for the kid, and football season's going to start up. Okay, so it had me thinking because now parents these days, it's like they put their kids in everything. You're in chess club, you're on the basketball team, you're doing football, you're baseball, soccer, whatever you're in, you're going to
And
do
it's
that after
one to
school.
the next, to the
Yes.
next, to the next, right?
Now, let me get your opinion on your thought on this because I was thinking about this. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because it keeps the kid active, which is good. But on the same token, how do you really get good at something if you're jumping from thing to thing to thing?
Okay, so I do have an opinion on this.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I really love baseball, but we're going to put you in football too.
Yeah.
So now,
Okay, so as a coach
sure.
and as an athlete, I was an athlete my whole life. Still am. I believe it is important to be well-rounded. So if you have a kid who's a stud baseball player, okay, and he plays baseball from the time he's 3 until the time he's 18, continually playing baseball all year round. He's going to camps. He's doing all the right things. His learning curve goes from 0 to 60, right? And
Yep.
then once he hits 60, eventually you got to top out, right? So you're 0 to 60. He's way above and beyond all of his peers. And then all of a sudden he starts to plateau, right? Then he gets to like high school, and all those other kids start to get better, right? The ones that are playing football in the football season, the ones that are wrestling, the ones that are running, doing all that stuff. I believe that those kids who are doing all of those other sports are learning skills that they can apply to a specific sport like baseball. Okay. Where the kid who only plays baseball isn't learning any of those skills and gets to a point, and this is a mental thing too. Like if you're better than everybody else and you don't get challenged, you're never learning. You're not learning because you're just beating up on everybody, right? So those kids, I think, end up being good, but not as good as they could have been. I don't think they reached their full potential, to be honest with you. Where those kids that did tons of sports, I mean, you look at Russell Wilson. He could have played Major League Baseball, chose football. I know there's more. I can't.
Well, I'm sure there is. I
particularly
was just
think.
thinking. I
There's
was
just tons
pondering
of
on
examples
this
of that. You know what I mean?
because which I see your points. Which is it makes sense. You would grow. You would be pushed by other people or other team members, right?
Right. You know, it's that like even in wrestling, like kids that are just like super good wrestlers when they're in grade school, you try to find them when they're in high school. It's like, where the heck are they? Well, they peaked or they got bored or they were too good. They stopped learning. They stopped plateauing, right?
Right.
I mean, I wrestled from the time I was in first grade until even after high school, and I was really good, but I don't think I reached my full potential because I just stopped growing, you know, as a wrestler. Where
do you think that's because you lost the passion for it?
No, I absolutely love that sport. The problem was, I think that because I was in it for so long, I got complacent with where I was and what my talent level was. I wasn't willing to change or adapt or get better, learn, get better, whatever. Where there was kids that came in and as eighth graders, freshmen, sophomores that came in and they ended up winning state, you know, being better than me. And I, by the, time I put in, I should have been better, but I wasn't because that learning curve. I tell kids all the time, it's like that learning curve is a real thing, right?
No,
my learning curve went up and then it kind of like plateaued and then I slowly got better, but I just kept on this like slow, steady plane where they went and learned and that they went above and beyond where I ever made it to,
Now I think some sports coincide with each other, like track and field or cross country. Like that's beneficial for football, baseball, basketball. You're building your cardio, your endurance. That's a big factor in any sport.
Yep.
It truly is.
I mean, there's only a few sports out there that you don't really need to run, bowling, golf.
Yeah. Well, still, I mean, you build up that endurance factor.
Yep.
How much you can take and push yourself. Right. I was just curious. I was just wondering about it because it seems like a lot of parents, they're just throwing them in shit. And then like we talked about it starts at a young age.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to burn your kids out.
No, that too.
You know what I mean? But you want to keep them moving and you want to keep them active, and that's the best way to do it, right?
Yeah. No, I think weight training is a must. I think track and field or some sort of endurance sport is a must.
That's the hard part, right? The endurance sports too is you can go and do it on your own. That's what's cool about running. You can go and do it on your own, but it is so hard to go out and run when it's raining. It's so hard to go out and run when it's cold.
Yeah.
So unless you have that motivation or that drive in yourself to go out and do that on your own, it's super hard unless you have a team, right? So being part of the team is obviously going to be that driving factor.
See, but yeah, there's the thing, right? Now, you look at somebody like Michael Jordan. He was out shooting hoops by himself. Like he was practicing by himself in his driveway. A lot of kids, I don't see them doing that. Right? Like they don't have that inner drive to go and work on it at home.
Not anymore, I don't think. right? Like when I was a kid, you saw that a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw pickup games a lot. We played
All
tackle
over, dude.
football in the nursing home,
All over.
field or whatever. But now I don't think you see that as much.
No.
I mean, there are a lot of like in our area at our school, we have open gyms all the time, so kids are still going and doing things, but it's not by themselves. It's not a and that's where you work on your mental game is by yourself, in my
Yes.
opinion, right?
I agree.
Doing that by yourself and saying, oh, instead of just quitting or letting it be, you're not just gonna half-ass everything, half-ass a shot and be like, okay, that was good. You when you're by yourself, you can be your own critic, and you don't have some coach yelling down your throat that you may not like, or
Or some, one of your buddies talking smack,
yeah.
because that happens.
Oh, and that can play an effect on the whole thing too, for sure.
Yeah, the mental game is a big deal, especially on what kids want to learn too. But like, I'm just speculating from what I've seen through some of my kids going through sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't see the drive outside of being on the field or in the gym.
Yeah, well, a lot of kids
Outside
like
of
to
that,
play the game, but they hate practice. Which, sorry,
well,
the
that's
game
all
is
part of it.
part of the yeah, right. What's that? The analogy with the iceberg, right? You see the little bit at the top, like,
but all the underneath.
but all the what got you to the top is all that work that's underneath the water that no one sees, right?
That's right. Yeah, it was
That's
just
the coolest thing, man. That's the coolest analogy.
I just thought, if you want to be great at something, you practice. I keep using MJ because I grew up watching him, and then you hear his stories, and then it's just he practiced outside of practice,
Right.
and then he did join baseball, and he wasn't terrible at baseball.
No, did he ever make the major league squad,
Yeah.
or was he just AAA?
No, he was on the Sox.
Okay.
White Sox.
Well, no, because I think their AAA is the White Sox also.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they have the same name.
No, he played in the major leagues, dude. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty damn
I mean,
sure.
I know he made that transition. I don't know how much he played.
Well, that's what I mean. He was okay, but it wasn't his forte. He wanted to try it, like you said.
Right.
He wanted to try it. Of
Because
course,
that's something his dad wanted him to do, right?
he's gifted. He's a talent. He's, in my opinion, the best basketball player ever.
I agree.
I don't, LeBron does his thing, but MJ.
I did.
And then
we went to where the hell were we? And we were in Houston, and we went to a game down there. No, a Spurs. San Antonio. Spurs played the Lakers. Okay, and we're just the cheapest seats we could find. We just went to have a good time because we were in San Antonio, and I'm like, I'm just curious, for the sake of argument, like, who is the best? And if I had to gauge somebody on who is the best, I would say that who was the most productive for the time that they played, right?
Yeah.
So I went and I found the points based on how long each person played minutes wise, because that's how they figure
calculate
out
everything. Yeah.
How long. So I'm just like, well, Jordan scored. I don't remember how it worked out. Jordan was scoring like 11% of the time that he played. And I think the next closest person was Kobe at like 7% of the time that he played.
That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference. And you got to remember, Jordan didn't shoot threes ever, as compared to
right,
like guys now. Like,
well,
I think he only has like 600 and some 3-point shots made.
And I'm not
taking totally wrong on that, but
no, well,
I'm close.
Yeah, but that's a big difference, man. That's huge. Like, and another thing is like I don't want to say the genetics or the. I seen a picture of what Michael Jordan looked like playing in his prime, and then it was stacked up against LeBron, and it's like night and day difference in size, muscular, everything.
But they're
It's
different positions though too, aren't they? I'm not a basketball fan per
well,
se.
it's
Like I
like that. I stopped after Michael. Like that
yeah,
was it
like I don't I
in
barely
the
know the
'90s.
rules. Even
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean
not an expert.
I enjoy March Madness, and you know yeah, let's do a March Madness bracket, and I'll go in there
It's something to be
thinking,
fun.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, this team, Gonzaga's always in the ballpark. Okay, let's throw them in there. Kansas has got a quality team, or has
These are
always
big
had one.
names.
It's like, yeah,
They're
big
all in the
names.
spotlight.
This
Yeah.
one goes through. Michigan State, they're always a Big Ten team that's making the way. And all right, bracket's done. Turn it in and hope for the best.
But I mean, in general, people look different. Things have changed since through time. Well, that goes back through the course of time. Guys look different back in the early times. They looked older than what they were compared to, you know what I'm saying? Like how it just seems through over time, genetics and everything play a factor
Yeah,
and have
well,
changed.
even for us, I mean, we're
Yeah.
what 38.
39. I'll be 39, man.
There's
Friday.
people 39 Friday.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to have a birthday episode.
Yeah, we could.
See if I can send you a cake through the screen.
Yeah. Hit me in the face with it.
Yeah. we'll have to have Trisha be standing on the other side just waiting.
Waiting. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Levels me out. I'm knocked out.
Yeah, no, what the hell else? I don't even know what the hell we were just talking about. Oh no, we're 30, like we're 38.
Yeah.
And most people wouldn't even guess that.
No, man, there's kids on the baseball team. Well, I'm always been kind of relatively a small guy. Right? Like I want to say probably 140 is like my average weight. Okay. But when I was in lifting before I got jacked up, I got up to 170. Like it's amazing what the body can do, what you can do to it and put it through. Well, you know that lifting and being you were an athlete, you still are.
Yeah.
Doing CrossFit. I did that for a little bit.
I try. I don't do it as much as
No.
I
can't at all, but
I'm like all running. No, that's it. Training for that marathon, man.
That's good, man. That's good. How's that going?
It's all right. Sunday's run was tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm giving myself a little bit of a break here, and then fire it back up on Sunday and see if I can keep going. Had a little bit of a leg issue, but nothing major. I think it was I just don't think I fueled right. So
that's a big factor too, man. Like running, that's a sport. Like you need to be trained mentally for that also, not just physically.
and you need to be prepared on how to get fuel in your body while the event is going on.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where I didn't fuel enough beforehand.
Well, you need to fuel while doing it.
And while doing it, which I do, on my long training runs, I do. But I think which I don't think it was that wasn't the problem. I think the fueling before we even started was an issue.
Yeah.
Because by the time I got to my second fuel point, I was already broken down, and it was, hitting that 20-mile mark was tough,
I don't know. I've never been there.
And the previous week we hit 18, and that was no problem. I did it no problem. You know what I mean? So that 2-mile jump, people say that 20-mile mark is the hard part, but it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be. I think it's just a matter of how well you can fuel to get your body there.
Now, do you listen to music or an audiobook or anything while you're doing this?
No.
No? Have you tried that?
While I'm running, you saying?
Yeah, or do you not want to?
I used to run with music, and then I found that it was either a crutch or it was a wall. You hit if you hit a song that just isn't vibing with you.
Yeah, I know that feeling too.
But also, if you get to a point where you're dying and all of a sudden that song comes on and you're like, yeah, this is my jam, and you're just like ready to go, it can help you, but I just got rid of it altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd love to run in with music, but I would create playlists.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have that happen.
And I did. I had playlists. It's just sometimes, even on that playlist, sometimes you hit a song, you're just like, nope, can't do this right
It's
now.
not the jam. Yeah. Well, see, I had like my heavy metal playlist. I had my old school rap playlist. I had my, like, if you, there's artists out there that are like I'm trying to think of it, like the Score. Have you ever heard of the Score? Like
Hmm.
Legends Are Made, like them kind of songs that like jack you up.
Yeah.
Like I had a playlist with all them, and it helped. But like I understand totally what you mean. Like if the song comes on and it doesn't, this ain't the jam. It's not the jam.
Yep. No, I always had to go to like some heavy, I like White Zombie, like Pantera. That's where I went. Had to.
Yeah, I had them on the
Otherwise, it
list.
wasn't.
You have to. Them are staple songs for that kind of shit too.
Yep.
Lifting.
Or the all and ever greatest Eye of the Tiger, right?
Oh yeah.
That's obviously a given, but
I used to actually have. I started downloading samples of like speeches, motivational speeches,
oh sure,
and I would listen to some of them sometime too, like
yeah,
Bruce
those can
Lee
get you going.
and Arnold, Stallone, Rocky, that kind of stuff. And it helped.
Yeah,
He's powering up.
a big diesel just drove by. Dude, I had this crotch rocket that was ride by every like 5 minutes, just meow meow. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Just driving up and down the block.
Yeah, he's just back and forth for about half
You
an
don't
hour.
give a shit.
Pretty much the whole time I was painting. That was what he was
Oh,
doing.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
so this happened today.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was literally like an hour ago. It's like,
Yeah. Well,
put it away. But probably had to get his rounds in. It looks like it's going to rain pretty soon. So
yeah, I know. It was getting cloudy over this way too. It'll probably, yeah. Well, it sprinkled out before on my way home.
oh, did it? No, it wasn't bad here.
Hmm.
Not that I know of, unless I missed it. I don't know.
So are you reading anything or listening to anything? I know we talked before you like doing audiobooks
I
you're
do
working
audio.
on your route.
Yep, I do
is there one
audiobooks.
that you're into right now?
What did I just listened to a couple actually. David Goggins has his new book out. I listened to that one. That was pretty good. I think his first one was better. I think this one he was just trying to put out another book. To be honest, I don't know. He kind of repeated a lot of stuff that he did in the first one. The first one was a little bit more,
And that dude will
whatever.
jack you up if you need some motivation.
No, he does.
His stories
that's
are pretty
one.
good, man. Like,
no, that's a good book, and
mhm.
I like it. Well, I listened to The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, you were telling me about
that. That one will scare the shit out of you.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
I don't want to get kicked off YouTube, but
yeah, I know. We gotta tread carefully on the kind of subjects on here.
It was a good book. I recommend it. I think anybody should read it just to understand whether or not it's true or not. It doesn't matter. Just understand the capabilities of some people. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing that I don't think people really. I'm trying to think of how to say this. So yeah, like there's a whole other world outside of what we think is the world.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist because I work with guys. I listen to that shit all the time.
Yeah,
I know.
But
if you don't think shit is capable of happening, it's happening.
Oh, right. Exactly. I agree. Okay, so what did I do? Yeah, David guys. The Operator by Robert O'Neill. He's the dude that shot Osama bin Laden, or claims that he shot Osama bin Laden.
Yep.
So that was a good book too. I get into those. I get into those Navy SEAL books, man. They're pretty cool. I like listening to their stories.
What do you think of Jocko?
I've read a couple of his or listened to a couple of his books.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy too.
Yeah,
very knowledgeable.
Yeah. I like his just get up and do it attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's simple.
Yeah, stop fucking around. Just get up and do it. Oh, you need something done? Go do it. Don't
Yeah,
wait for someone else to do it. You know,
right.
that's awesome. I like that. I like that
No, that's
mindset.
I like that real straightforward shit.
Hmm.
I was actually listening to him today, actually.
Oh, were you?
Oh yeah.
I, one of his books or just a
No,
podcast?
a podcast with Jordan Peterson.
Oh, he was on with him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, Jocko had him on a few times, and now Jordan returned the favor and had him on Jordan's channel.
Right on.
So yeah, he and they were talking about podcasts. You know how everyone kind of starts a podcast. You know, you got your obviously your high end podcasters that have been doing it since the beginning and have a great following. But he was saying, you know, you try to, you know, they tell you to have, you know, maintain a positive attitude and try to, you know, don't talk like issues and problems of the world and try to, and it's like no, he's like I'm gonna talk the truth, you
Well,
know, straight up.
people don't want like sunshine and rainbows all the time. They want to hear what's really going on.
Yeah, real conversations and
Like
enlightenment. That's what I like. That's why I want to do this. This is
kind of
why
like those Midwest monks that I heard about.
yeah, them guys are getting down.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They're
But yeah, no,
they're
Jocko, what Extreme Leadership is that one of his books? And then
yeah.
I think he's got a
He's got a
couple
few
others.
actually.
Yeah, I think I read two.
He's written children's books too. Did you know that?
Really
Yeah, he did. He has a few of them. I don't know the titles of them, but
cool.
yes.
Good.
Yep.
Good for him.
That's impressive because his
These headphones are driving me nuts right now.
his achievements are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Actually, from the Navy SEAL side of things. Oh, there goes that crotch rocket.
Yep, he's back. Yeah, no man. What else? There's
You
dude,
read any?
I've got like 100 books in the last year and 2 years.
Yeah, well, I would do the same thing in
I
your
just
situation.
I just smashed through them.
Yeah.
It only takes me like, if it's a 10-hour book on audio, it take 3 days,
Yeah.
3 days to listen to it all. So I mean, I can really
I like that.
get after it.
Yeah, you learn shit, you know, like ultimately knowledge is self-knowledge,
Hmm.
right? And getting a bunch of I just like that. I like expanding, learning. It's just good. It's good for the mind about different topics and subjects of the world or what have you, or even training. You know, we were talking about that before, or sports or whatever. It's
Yep.
just I like listening. It's good to do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's why part of why I coach too is I knew about running. I knew things about running. I knew coaching has come pretty natural to me. Like I think I have a good relationship with the athletes, and they respect me enough to where it works.
Yeah.
But the research, once I started researching running more, it's like, whoa, this is a world that is like the door open, and I'm just like, holy crap,
Well, yeah.
it's huge.
There's a lot of shit.
Yeah, and it's been really fun just being able to do the research to find different things and see what works.
Man,
Sometimes certain things work for some kids. Sometimes it doesn't work for anybody.
well, that's the thing.
And that's what's cool.
There's things that you can learn so much stuff, but that doesn't mean it's gonna work for you.
Right.
Lifting. I remember back when we first got in, we were talking about lifting years ago.
Yep.
I can't remember the term, but you remember you pump your like doing bicep curls.
Sure.
You curl, and then you stretch back and hold the tricep to let that burn. I forgot what that was called.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That worked.
Yeah.
For me.
No, it was good. I mean, with the lactic
Something
acid,
with the lactic, with the acid,
like, well, because when your muscles break down, like your body has to react and like
fill them full of acid.
It builds lactic acid. I think it's meant to protect the muscle from being hurt. Like I might totally be wrong on this because I'm not.
Well, we're not professionals,
right? But I think that's what it's for. And then if you can get more lactic acid, that's more muscle building. I think they correlate.
Yeah, you can withstand and produce. Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that too, because I do a little bit of things now, just basic movements, a little bit of weight, because I got to watch it. But like I never tested back when I was in really good shape, like my max bench, because I worked out alone
You never
most of the
really
time.
need to, in my opinion.
But I was just gonna say that you don't. At what point in your life are you gonna be in that exact position to hold that bar or to whatever you're doing, laying on your back, pushing 500 pounds,
Yeah,
except in some sort of competition for bench press? That don't mean shit. That don't do you shit. Or squatting. When are you ever gonna? And the only movement that I think that is beneficial for extreme amount of weight would be the deadlift.
yes. Actually, I forget the guy's name. There was a dude who took some like retired marathon runners and put them on this regimen of like deadlifts, tons of deadlifts, and got them to run a race again, and they like PR'd
Yeah. Oh, did
because of
you
uh
do
why
you know of Pavel Satsulin? Have you ever heard of him?
no.
No, he was the Russian Soviet Union. He was like a trainer for the military, but he like brought the kettlebell over here.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Kudos to
because
that dude.
I was
Kettlebells
very
are awesome.
they are. I was big into them. Like that, I started just training with them until I got fucked up, and I loved them, dude, and it worked. And
Yeah.
he implemented that with runners. Something about just doing a deadlift program, and I forgot. What's his name? Shit, Dan. I can't think of his name, but he was another. He was a coach. He's coached football. I'll think of his name as we carry on the conversation. But like deadlifting, you big time for runners. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
But that's
I
the
mean,
only movement I think that is beneficial for extreme amount of weight.
there's a lot of body movement stuff that you can do. A lot of the Olympic lifting stuff is pretty good too because it's not, as long as it's a free weight, I think it's beneficial for you because there's balance involved, there's
Well, yeah,
strength involved, there's range of motion involved. I think that all of that ties in, you know, and there is no right or wrong way, I think, when it comes to a lot of stuff. There's wrong ways to do it where you're going to hurt yourself, but
yeah,
there's not like a right or wrong thing that's going to make you better or worse, in my opinion. But I think it's extremely beneficial. I think those lifting machines, unless you're like an actual bodybuilder trying to isolate
yeah,
a very specific
yeah.
muscle,
Isometrics. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't,
don't
I
think
don't
so
think
either.
they work. You know, not for an
No,
everyday person.
no. You need if you want to lift, you should do real movements
Hmm.
like farmers carries. Great movement.
Yeah,
Working your
grip strength,
core,
that
grip
core.
strength,
Yep.
balance. You can do single arm, double arm.
Yeah, when I did
I'm
Spartan race, that's what I would do. I do farmer carries almost every day.
and I'm no professional. I'm not no trainer or nothing. Don't have no education in lifting. But I read a lot of shit because I like that. Like when I get involved with something, I deep dive into it. Like I
Hmm.
just flood the mind with. You can ask Trisha, man. I used to have binders full of articles I would print off about lifting and different shit to do and try. And
Yeah,
for real, I still got some of them.
and that's what's okay. So I like that you said that. Um, Different stuff to try, right? So
Yeah,
like, I'll find stuff running, and I'll be like, oh, I wonder if this is going to work or what this can do for the body or whatever. I'll actually go out and try the workout first on my own to see if it's even worth trying with the kids. Because I'm not just going to be like, oh, look at this cool workout, go have the kids do it and burn them out or wreck
yeah,
them
and
or
they won't.
whatever.
Right.
Then they hate me or whatever. Then I gotta, give them Starburst to like make them like me again or something. But that's my thing. We bring Starburst, or my other coach
That's
brings
good.
jelly beans.
I
But
could, that's good that you're a coach, man, because you got that personality and
yeah, no, it's fun. But yeah, no, I go and do it myself first to see if it's even worth trying, because I don't believe in doing things just to do them. Like if I'm
right.
gonna do something, especially in a sport, if I'm trying to like get a goal, like everybody's goal is to go to state, be that person, right?
Yep. To achieve something, get your
if
name out there.
if I want to achieve that goal, you can't just every day go out and do the same thing. You can't every day just like go out there without a plan, without a path. You have to be able to have everything you do mean something in the progress. Even if it
Yeah.
is a recovery day, that recovery day means something. So what you do on that day is meaningful, where you're getting the recovery that you needed so you can get back after it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not just a, okay, go for a, steady tempo run today. All right, go for a base run today. Go for a base run today. It's not going to work, in my opinion.
No.
But
No.
there's a million coaches out there and a million different ways to go about it. But
Dan John, that's the coach I was thinking of. Dan John.
Dan John,
Yep. You have to Google him after this.
two first names. I don't
Very
know.
cool dude. And in like recovery days, his sessions, he does a lot of stretching. Stretching is a big deal.
Stretching is a big deal. Foam rolling. I like foam
Foam
rolling.
rolling. Yep.
Yeah. We have I have a Compex too, which is like electric.
Oh yeah, one of them like
Shocks
like
your muscles a little bit.
yeah.
Those are pretty neat too. Especially on days where I really have some serious tightness in the leg or something. I can throw
Yeah.
that on there and it loosens me
Everything
up.
works different for everyone. Diet, that's a factor depending on it's all kinds of shit plays, but like the body, you can form it and shape it and mold it and change it. I mean, it's doable. I've done it. And it's
Yeah.
so awesome. It's impressive, really.
Well, I mean, just like put on that, 30 pounds from your normal weight. I mean, I did the same thing. I was walking around at 155, 160, up to 190. When I was my
Yeah.
biggest, I think
I never got that
193,
big.
and then
It's cool.
came back
I
down.
I look back at it now and I'm like, what the fuck did I do that for? For
Yeah.
one, you eat so much and you shit 9 times a day and you feel bloated and uncomfortable and it's not worth it.
I felt really good when I did that. I just would have I would have those HRA things, those health
Oh
risk
yeah,
assessments,
I like them.
and then they're like, "Oh, you're obese." I'm like, "I'm 190 pounds with like no body fat." Like,
Yeah.
I am not obese. What are you looking at? But
Well, that's
based
just
on BMI and how tall
overall,
you are,
yeah,
and
right.
it's the
But like
dumbest thing.
the the blood count shit is what I was really interested in because my bad cholesterol was always high, in the red high.
Oh,
Now
really?
I used to eat a lot of eggs.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm like I'm gonna try something. I still ate eggs, but I just didn't eat the yolk.
Okay.
Next year came around, another HRA in the green, and that's the only thing I changed. The
Wow.
only thing. But now they say that eggs like are a zero, like you can the cholesterol in them is good. It's not going to mess with you. But that's my observation from what I tried.
Right. I think that it's like other stuff around it too, though. Does one thing make that big of a difference, or
Well, I
is it like
honestly,
that along with other things that you're eating that tied together that made that happen?
I don't know that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying, but
Yes, when you
that's
take one thing out, you can make a big drastic change, but is it because that one thing was removed, or is it because that reaction with whatever else you ate that could have
yeah, I don't
caused it?
know.
Who knows? I don't know.
That's cool. Being a nutrition, like, there's a lot of cool. I know I'm jumping off subject here, but that's one thing that sucks is we can't get time back. That's the only thing that we can't do because it'd be like we were talking about the other day about just being an expert in a certain area or like a scholar or a nutritionist or going to school for this or that. But that's a whole other thing too, is going to school for something. And I don't know, man.
You can get time back. Just go get stem cells jacked into you every day.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got to go to different countries for that.
Yeah.
Do you notice that actually, like, people that really, like, Matt Hughes, right?
Mhm.
Matt Hughes, UFC champion,
Yep.
phenomenal, great wrestler. I mean, division champion, great. And then he got in that bad accident and was jacked up, like on the verge of death.
Yep.
I mean, his brain function isn't the best, but he went overseas and had some stuff done medically and therapies, and like he's functioning again.
Hmm.
That's impressive.
He was in. Did you
He got
ever
hit
watch
by a
the King?
train, basically,
Yeah,
is what happened to him for people that know. He got his truck got hit by a train.
yeah. He's lucky he ain't dead.
Right.
He was in. Did you ever watch The Kingdom?
Is that war movie?
No, it's an MMA movie.
The King? No. No. Oh, I'm thinking of Three Kings. I don't know why. That's
Oh
because
yeah,
I seen
no,
an ad
The
for that.
Kingdom. It was not a movie. I'm sorry, it's a series. I think there's like 3 seasons to it or something.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. It was okay. Like some of the writing in it was absolutely dog shit because it just shit didn't make sense sometimes. It
Well,
was, but
some of
I
them.
mean, the whole thing. It was an MMA show. It was fun to watch. But Matt Hughes was in it, and then the trainer in it. I forget the dude's name, but he was the trainer that was in Warrior too. You've seen the movie Warrior,
Yeah, I think so.
where the brothers fight
Oh
MMA,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the trainer in that one is the trainer in the Kingdom. He's the one who owns the gym.
Ah.
Yeah,
Isn't he an athlete too? Like a.
he moves like one for sure, and I think like he's a avid fan of mixed martial arts.
Mm,
I don't know if he ever fought per se. I don't actually know the history of him, but he
okay.
definitely
I
moves
thought.
like a fighter. So he may have. I don't know.
Hmm.
I forget the dude's name. I
Yeah, I want to look it up now.
Yeah, we need.
I'm gonna actually. I'm gonna do that.
Okay,
I'm gonna Google it right now.
I was just gonna say we gotta get that started.
Yeah, we gotta start because then we know what the hell we're talking about here.
Yeah, we don't want to make ourselves look like a bunch of jackasses.
Right? They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, just fucking rambling on.
Oh shit! Here now.
But no, that was a good show. It was fun. It was mostly the in between seasons. Like that's when the writing got really wonky. Like they always started a season like
Well, and that's with Tom
way off
Hardy
kilter.
and Joel Edgerton. Them were the brothers.
Yeah. So who was the trainer? Black haired guy.
Oh, Frank Grillo.
Yes, that's
That's
it.
it. Frank
Yep.
Grillo. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he. Yeah, you're right. No, he was just a fan.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that actually he played in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I should bring it up on the screen here, but
But like even in the show, like he was good. Like he did, even his movements in the ring and stuff. Like he was, you can tell. I mean, actors train that shit though, right? If they're
oh
playing a
yeah,
role, like they are like balls deep, getting after it.
most
But
of them,
like,
yeah. But then they got their stunt double, depending on this, depending on what they're doing. But yeah, but I miss the good old days of the UFC. I miss Chuck and
man,
Tito.
we used to have UFC parties all the time, and we go and watch the fight, and like every card had like you had the first couple fights were solid,
Mm-hmm.
some good up and comers with but notable guys that you knew, and then like the last 3 or 4 fights were always fighters you knew, you backed them, you were a
Man,
fan. But now it's
dude.
like there's just random dudes all over the place.
Yeah, I don't. I
It's like I
can't
don't know
follow it.
who.
I tried for a while. I did, but
Yeah,
it just got there's too much. It's just. I mean, I'm glad the sport took off.
yeah, yeah. So
Like,
am I.
you know, I mean, I really truly am like Dana White. We got to give our hats off to Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner though, because that fight
Best fight ever.
shook the world, man. That made it mainstream, and that was just it was amazing, dude. Stephen Bonner passed away.
Did he really?
Yeah, oh yeah, you didn't hear that?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know that.
passed away last year, man.
What happened?
Some sickness.
No way.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think he was 48 years old. Not even 49,
Hmm.
maybe younger. Yeah. Yeah, he had some. Yeah, it's a shame.
That's too bad.
I
Yeah,
worked with
that
a
was.
guy actually that went to school with um, Clay Guido. if you know what I'm
Guida?
talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that dude
He's
was an
from Chicago.
animal.
He's from Chicago.
Really,
Yeah.
that dude was so cool, man. Like just the weirdest.
Crazy fight. Him and Diego Sanchez, man. Crazy fights together, dude.
Every fight Diego Sanchez had was kind of crazy. Remember when BJ Penn beat the ever living piss out of him?
Oh my word.
He wouldn't even finish the fight. BJ Penn wouldn't finish the fight because he wanted to beat the shit out of him so bad. Split him open all the way across the forehead. That was
There's
one
a
of my
lot
favorite fights to watch.
there's a lot of super fights that I wish would have happened. So George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. Everybody wanted to see that fight.
Yeah. I think GSP bailed out before he could get beat. He knew his time was limited, and I don't know.
Well, that's a smart thing to do, though.
It's a smart thing to do, but in my opinion, now this is just my opinion because I'm not in that position.
Sure.
I think. Well, now that I'm about to say this out loud, I'm rethinking it now. So, like, I was gonna say, like, you should be fighting until you lose the belt. However, if someone wanted out, they could just throw it. You know, that's where my rethink
right.
is.
That's
You know
what.
what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh well, I'm just gonna lay down.
Take a hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I retract my.
Well, you know.
Never
yeah.
mind.
But I don't like when they dance around with each other. Okay, this is just me. I'm just speculating. Like, this is just what I like. There's some fighters that just. I'm not a big fan of wrestling, and I know
What?
you're a fan of wrestling, but I'm not. I just don't like that feeling of being tangled up, and but I understand it. I'm just not a fan of it.
Sure.
I'd rather, if we're gonna fight, we're gonna fucking throw hands, and throw some kicks, like that's to me. Okay.
Right.
I still some of the baddest. Oh man, some of the funniest moments too. I mean, you remember when Nick Diaz fought Anderson Silva and laid down in the ring?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep. Yeah. He's just like, come get
Yeah,
me.
that was fucking cool.
That was funny.
I like the
And
Diaz brothers.
Diaz is an animal though. Like both of them, they're all
Oh yeah,
crazy. They're crazy.
they can take some hits and keep coming, man. It's crazy.
Well, it's because they're out there having fun, doing it because they love it, rather than.
And they're really good in jujitsu and stuff. Like they're phenomenal at it, you know, in the wrestling and all that. But they also can box.
Right. No, they're ballers, man. Brawlers, I should say. They're
Brawlers.
They're just out to get after it.
So yeah, I don't follow it much anymore. Everybody that I grew up, or not grew up, but followed and was a fan of, they're all retired or older now. Obviously, you get to a certain age and you just can't do it anymore, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
Especially if you get knocked out a bunch.
Right. I wish there was some fighters that were better trained or did it more. Brock Lesnar was one of them. I wish he was just, not that he wasn't trained to the highest level, but he just didn't look like a fluid fighter, you know.
He admitted I'm
orthodox, and
yeah, he's just not one to take punches.
Right.
Like he's not used to that. You got to be used to getting fucking hit in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Most people aren't.
No, I mean, you hit yourself in the nose doing something little, your eyes water,
and your
just, yeah. Mommy.
Well, it's true. I mean,
Right?
he was an animal, though. I mean, to see him coming at you from across the cage.
I met him. In, I had a wrestling camp in Minnesota. Dude, he is a monster.
He's a big boy.
And I met him before he was in WWE. So, like, when we went to that wrestling camp, he's like, one of the kids had asked, what are your plans, after this? Because MMA wasn't, it was a thing, but it wasn't what it is now.
Right.
By any means. But that's kind of like the most logical direction that a high school and college wrestler goes, right? So he's like, no, I'm planning on joining the WWF or WWE. And then we're like, oh, cool, whatever, And then the craziest thing, it's like a couple years later, and I was big into WWE at the time. I'm not anymore. But this new music came on, and out comes Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
I almost shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? He actually, like, I
He
know,
did it.
I met him. Like,
Yeah.
I literally talked to him. It was the coolest thing.
And he did great in there.
He's still in it, isn't he? I
Well,
think
I
he's
don't know.
still in there. Yeah, I
I
think
don't
he's
follow. I
still.
haven't followed it since
I haven't. I
the
haven't either,
heyday.
but I
The
think he's
heyday
still in
for
there.
me was like The Rock, Stone Cold, DX, like that era.
Oh yeah,
Mankind,
Mankind.
Undertaker. You know, Mankind. He was like 9 different people. Dude Love, Cactus Jack. Remember all
Yep,
them?
yep.
But I mean, obviously Hogan and Jake the Snake and Bret Hart, like that too. But like I was more of the era and the group, the right age for like
I
Stone
just saw
Cold
a
and The
meme the
Rock,
other
man.
day, and they're like, "How did it go? It was the world was a better place when everyone was doing this, and then it had Degeneration X doing this all
Suck it.
the." It was like the world was a
Oh
better
man.
place.
You get in trouble in school for doing that? I remember doing that in school. Kids
Yep,
had the suck it t-shirt, yeah, and to take it off.
yep. Turn it inside out.
Yep. I used to wear a Dale Jr. Budweiser jacket. The principal took it from me a few times, but I kept wearing that son of a bitch.
See, and that's. I mean, I get it, but you can't.
Eh.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. There was we all got our heyday of things that we enjoy, right?
Yeah,
I don't follow. I know Brock Lesnar had some stomach problems too for a while.
that was when he was fighting. I think
Yeah.
some intestinal shit. I have
Yeah.
no idea what it was about, but yeah, it
Put him out.
put him in a bad spot.
Yeah, I mean, he
I think
beat the
that's
shit
ultimately
out of
why.
Frank Mir. You remember that fight?
Oh, dude.
He had Frank Mir on the ground and just hammer fist in his face, dude.
Yep. Yep. I
Frank Mir's
watched that
face
fight.
is all fucking distorted.
I mean, dude's got lunch boxes for hands. I mean, what do you?
Yeah,
He's a different human. But
man.
there again, like that's one of those athletes. He tried. I think he played in the NFL. I don't know if he actually played in the NFL. Tried out in the NFL. He was
He could
obviously.
move. For
He
being
was,
a big boy, that
yeah,
fucker was quick. I'll tell
and
you that.
he was obviously in wrestling, and who knows what other sports he played. But there again, just an athlete that did all the sports, and now
Yeah.
he's at
Well,
a high level, right?
yeah. Yep.
Getting back to the beginning of the conversation, like that's point and proof. And I actually was listening to a podcast about I can't remember who said it. A dude was talking about kind of the point I was making earlier, but how often do you see a kid that's pitching and winning in the Little League World Series? How often do you see them pitching and winning in the Major League World Series? He's like,
I don't know.
never. He's like,
Yeah.
he doesn't think it's ever happened. So it's like, I don't know. Think about that for a minute. Is it these kids that live, eat, sleep, breathe
That's true. I guess you're
baseball?
right because I've read Chuck. I'm a huge Chuck Liddell fan. I think you know that.
Do you have
You
his?
should.
I have his book. Did you read his book?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'd give it to you quick.
Yep. No, I have it. Well, you've seen my wall with all my.
Yeah, I didn't read every spine though.
No, I'm talking about the Chuck with all the posters.
Oh,
and
that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love. I mean, he influenced me a lot to start lifting in the beginning. Was him. Just I read his book and yeah, he played ball. He was actually a really good wrestler too,
Hmm.
which people don't. But he liked to throw hands and he was good at it. He was just a fucking marauder, man. I loved him. Just a mohawk. I remember the first time that my dad called me up. He's like, "You got to turn on." I think when Spike TV was showing UFC fights,
Yeah.
he said, "You got to check this guy out. He's got a mohawk, fucking just knocking people out, you know." And I just fell in love. I'm like, this dude's an animal, you
He
know.
was an animal. Probably still is an animal.
So yeah, I don't know. But you're right. I mean, it does help. I was just thinking, because there's just so much. You just keep your kid busy. It'd be to just get like if they're really passionate about something. Going back to the start of our show here, our talk, like work at it off season too. Don't just
Hmm.
what's next?
And don't just work at it like don't don't be necessarily specific right away on what you're working on, right?
Yeah,
Like be a good, well-rounded athlete have a good foundation, right? If you're out there trying to dunk all day, like I hear this a lot in high school kids, like, I want to dunk, I want to dunk. It's like, well, great, but how often are you going to get the opportunity to do that? How about you get really good at making free throws, right?
The basics, man.
Because then when you go to dunk and you get fouled and you don't get to dunk but you get fouled, you can go to the free throw line and
Make the
make the free
shots.
throw,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just people skip so many steps
Well,
in
skill.
sports.
There's learn how to handle the ball, dribble,
Hmm.
throw it,
The
catch it.
basic foundation, man. You need to build a huge foundation. You can't build a tall tower without a really solid foundation. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Your iceberg thing, man. That was perfect.
Same thing.
That's
And there's a million
100%.
different analogies you could use. They all mean the same thing, you
Yeah.
know.
This was good. I like this. I like this in depth. Hopefully people can learn, from just our experiences and thoughts. That's the goal, right? Everyone's got a story or some way of interpreting things
Yeah,
or information, points of view that are beneficial.
yeah. And that's the thing too with the conversation, right? Like you may not totally agree, you may totally agree. I don't know. But the important thing for us is keeping an open mind, right? Like
Yeah.
what if? Oh, well, what if that is true? Maybe I was thinking about this wrong. I'm not opposed to changing my opinion, right?
No, neither am I. That's why I wanted to do this, and that's why I wanted to do this with you,
Yeah,
because we got good banter, we get along well, and we might not always agree, but we can. I like seeing different points of view and it change. I'm open. I'm open minded.
yeah.
We're both easygoing.
Easy going, man. So it's about
That's right.
keeping an open mind, having the conversation, understanding one point of view along with the other point of view, even if you don't agree with it. And that's the biggest part is understanding, right? So,
Hell yeah. Well, there you have it,
well,
everyone.
it's been fun, man.
It is. It's been a good
Another one
day.
in the books.
Another one in the books. Another topic. We got lots of shit to talk about. I could really honestly keep going.
I could.
I got a
We could.
whole list. My mind today was just on fire, dude. I want to get one of them. I was telling Trisha last night. I want one of them little voice recorders to like record my thoughts.
Dude, your phone does it.
I know, but it's just yeah. I don't know. I want to feel. You remember? Home Alone. Everyone knows Home Alone movie, right? The Christopher.
Was it called a Talk Boy?
I
What was it
have
called?
that. I
Is it
still
called a
have it.
Talk
A
Boy?
talk boy. I have
Is
one.
that the,
I
I
fucking
can't
have
remember.
one.
I can't believe I remembered that.
I'll bust it out. I don't have a tape to put in it, but I have it.
That's cool. You
Oh
should
yeah,
put that up on your shelf, man. Those things are probably worth a gazillion dollars right now.
yeah. But I want one of them so I can walk around and
Yeah.
record my thoughts because we forget. I forget shit.
Kevin McAllister. Or what was
Yeah.
the dad's name? This is Mike McAllister.
Something like that. We always throw it on during Christmas time, but you don't really watch it because you've seen it 1,000 fucking times.
Yeah. Well, since I've met my wife, like we don't really watch Christmas movies, but there's always a tradition like Christmas Eve you always watch the old ones like from the
Oh yeah,
50s or 60s, way
like the
back.
cartoons, like the old like Jack Frost and
Jack Frost and like the Heat Miser, whatever the hell they're called,
yeah,
those ones.
them are old, dude.
Yeah. And they even meet they might be before the 50s. Are they before the 50s?
Mm,
When are those made? They got
no,
to be
not
old.
before the 50s. Right? When was the first television? Did that
Shut
come
up.
out in like the
I don't know.
60s?
Yeah, but people are making movies before that. The
Porn,
television was
maybe.
out, but they still had film.
Making porn.
Who knows? I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were doing. Find
We'll
out
get
when the
one.
first man. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't even know why I said that. That'll be a topic one day too.
Porn? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll just not let the wives listen to that one.
Oh, yeah.
No,
No, but seriously, I was
what?
just joking.
Yeah, what? There's like four or five of those old movies that we watch. I usually fall asleep by the second one, but
Yeah, it's just good. You know what? During Thanksgiving, I always play the Rocky movies.
oh really?
Yeah, I just feel like Thanksgiving time, like the Rocky movies, just I don't know why. You know how like people say Die Hard's a Christmas movie,
Yeah.
which okay, I'm on board. But like Thanksgiving time, it's like the Rocky movies, dude.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
mean, it's a good time to like you eat, you're full, you want to lay down, you got time off. What better than
Yeah,
to throw in,
I just throw them in and let them play.
Rocky movies one after the next? How many is there? Seven, eight?
There's a lot.
Well, then they morphed into Creed.
Yeah,
So,
which that's a whole discussion too. Like the Rocky movies are like people should watch them. They're so inspirational. There's a lot of shit to learn from them.
mhm.
Like Stallone nailed it with them.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's an
I mean,
animal,
he
man.
basically
He's so good.
he was a bum to a champion till he let all that fame get to him to back to being a bum to
Yep.
rising up again.
Yeah, owning his restaurant and doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
anyway,
Steve is bouncing around back here.
all right, that was good looking. Aw,
There's my baby.
that cutie. It's like, what are you doing, Dad?
And he's always investigating. That's the barky one.
Yeah. All right, bro. Well, there you have it, everyone. Hopefully, you liked our discussion. Got some stuff from training and kids in sports, and let us know what you thought in the comments. We'd appreciate to hear what you think.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Peace.